What's up, everybody? It's your boy AT2, and check out our friend Laugh, Gags, and Gossip. Yes, she has her own channel. If you want hot topics without having to watch those 24-hour lives, go ahead and check our friend T out. Laugh, Gags, and Gossip. Make sure you guys check her out on Instagram and on YouTube. The views and opinions on this show are for entertainment purposes only. The only factual information is any story that has happened to AT2 or the parties involved. Other than that, go ahead and get you a drink, get you something to eat, just relax and enjoy the show. Let's have fun. All right, y'all, let's get real. What's up, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of Talk the Real Deal with AT2. And yes, I am bringing back the interview series. Now, I am excited about this because, after everything went down with your boy AT2, I was like a little depressed, and I was like, I don't want to work with no YouTubers because they all the devil. Well, not all of them, just most of them. But I'm happy to bring this series back where I interview some of my favorite YouTubers that I see in different communities and stuff like that, and introduce them to a brand new audience. I really love having an open and honest conversation with this particular person that I'm interviewing. I've known who she was for a while. I was like, oh, she's the pretty girl that does all the makeup and stuff like that. But there's a lot more to her, and we're going to get more into depth about it. But without further ado, let me go ahead and welcome the people before I bring her up. What's up, Michelle? Thank you for coming. Michelle from Philly. What's up, Mina, the hardest working mod? We also got Wendy Lucas. Shout out to all my moderators, by the way. What's up, Carrie? Thank you for coming. Mama Bubbles, Roddy. I seen Xylee up in here too. What's up, Vegas girl? All right. Let's go ahead and get this going. And without further ado, let me go ahead and introduce my guest, Teaya Symone.
Hi, how are you?
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the people while I turn down these damn blinds and shit. Hold on.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Teaya Symone. I do makeup and commentary, and I've been doing that for about, I'd say consistently, maybe 6 months. I first started off doing just makeup. Then I realized I had something to say to the world, so I decided to add commentary. So I do mostly commentary, but makeup I do as well, and it's going to be more makeup for mostly just members and stuff like that. So that's pretty much it.
Yeah. So you're a makeup enthusiast. You're not actual makeup artist, right?
Well, I went to school for cosmetology.
You did? Oh, okay.
Yeah, but not technically makeup, but I could still legally do, you know what I mean? Apply makeup.
Hey, get your money. Yeah, so have you always been into makeup, or was it because I know you said 6 months ago you started, but have you always been into makeup?
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm. Ever since, I started doing makeup when I was very, very young, but when I started on YouTube, I was only doing just makeup. And then I just decided, okay, I got something to say to the world. And then that's when I added commentary onto it.
Right. And so how was the whole commentary thing? Because you go from a watcher and then you actually start getting involved and be all wait, I got something to say. How did the whole commentary come? Were you nervous about it, or you just it just came natural to you?
It came natural. Honestly, what made me want to do commentary is without a crystal ball.
Wow, really?
Yeah. I started watching her and I'm like, oh no, no, no. I'm like, I gotta say some stuff. No, no, no. And one day I just started doing makeup and got in front of the camera and started talking, and people seemed to respond to it more. So I'm like, okay, people are liking what I'm saying. And that's really what got me into commentary. Her.
Wow. So it wasn't necessarily like because you were inspired by her. It was more like you seen some of the
I
stuff
see
and was
some.
all like, "Oh, wait, hold on. This
Yes.
ain't right. Let me give
Yes.
my two
Yes.
cents."
Mm-hmm. And a lot of people always told me, Tia, you really should start, you know, talking
Mhm.
about things, because I used to do it on Facebook sometimes. And they're like, you really should do something with that. And I never thought anything of it, but she is, without a crystal ball, is what gave me the courage, because she used to make me so mad that I just had to come on camera and be like, this is when the whole lawsuit was going on with Tati. And you
Ooh.
just caught her in so many
Mhm.
things. And I'm just like, no, I can't do this. So that's when I decided to start speaking and
Yeah.
telling people what I thought.
Now, with that being said, how have your interactions been with the whole anti KJ community? Because I don't even think there's an anti KJ community anymore because they're all fighting each other, right?
I noticed that. I noticed that. My interactions have always been good, as far as like the people that I talked to. Like there was a girl named Tina that I talked to. Tina, I'll cut you. Uh T Spiracy's very nice. But I really didn't talk to too many people. I kind of stay to myself. But the people
Oh,
that I
that's good.
talked to were, yeah, the people that I talked to were nice. I would just say that it doesn't surprise me that they're all at each other's throats, because when you're attacking one person, eventually you're going to, when a whole bunch of people are attacking one person, eventually sometimes you attack each other, right?
Oh, that's so true.
Yeah.
I was saying that too. I was all like, it gets to a point where eventually it'll turn on you. So it was only
Mhm.
a matter of time because I mean, honestly, can I just say this? I don't know if her content was different back in the day. I
Mhm.
haven't watched her in hella long, but she's not that interesting to even have like a whole community of people that don't like her. Like she's not that she doesn't have any like she has no character. No,
I
no
agree.
season.
I agree. I agree
She's just
100%. I
straight up
mean,
salt and pepper. Like she has no seasoning to her.
yeah, and it's just she's so like, she just lies. I mean, I used to just catch her in so many lies and so many contradictions, and it was just ridiculous. It just got out of hand, and she still hasn't changed. So after
Right.
a while, you get tired of talking about the same person. You got to move on. And
Right. And she's never going to change. So it's kind of like, what's
right,
the point of still talking
right.
about her?
Like
Yeah.
I just don't think she's ever going to change. So, and nobody's getting rid of her. She's still here. So, like, what's the point?
Right, right, right. And so I know I kind of because I used to call it the true crime community, but you let
Uh-huh.
me know that calling it the Crama community is not a bad word. You know, I was thinking like it was like a bad word, but I guess it's not. So Crama is technically the crime community, but it's so much drama that it makes it that they combine it and call it the Crama, right?
Right. I don't think it's bad. Maybe some other people might think it is, but I don't think it's bad. I mean, it is. It's just a whole bunch of drama mixed with crime, right?
Right, right, right. And so, how did you kind of get involved with that? Like, who were some of your inspirations for that?
Sometimes I liked watching, well, what really got me into it was the Watts case. The Chris Watts
Mm.
case. Uh-huh.
A lot of
And
channels blew up from that. I know Save Robbie, his channel blew up from the Watts
mhm,
case and stuff.
yep, he's one of the ones that I've watched and that I still continue to watch. And I like I used to watch Molly Go Lightly, but not really that much anymore. Um, and just a kind of a little bit of everyone. I like CDT
Mhm.
the most. There's a channel called CDT,
Oh,
and
CBT.
they're amazing. And that's really the one that I've stuck with the most, because they stay out of the drama. They just cover the cases and that's it.
Yeah.
Um,
And their
but
name is CBT. I got to follow them.
Yeah, CDT. Mm-hmm.
CDT, D as in David.
Yes. And
Oh, okay. CDT. Okay, I
yeah,
gotta follow them because I've never heard of them. Everybody else I kind of know. I wouldn't say like I'm very like uh well knowledgeable when it comes to all the characters and stuff like that. I just know a few. But
right,
that's nice to know there is somebody who doesn't be in all the drama and stuff like that. That there's an alternative to the crazies.
right, right. And then another girl, excuse me, her name is Allie. I started watching her. Um, I just like the channels where they stick to the crime. They don't get involved in the drama. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah, I definitely respect that.
Mm-hmm.
With the Crama community, have they solved any crimes?
No.
I
They're
just
still
always
busy
wondered
worried
because
about
like
drama.
they talk about these crimes like they was there at the scene, but I don't know
Mhm.
if you can solve a crime sitting at your seat compared to like being out in the field. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Exactly.
Right, right. Like I think like the heavy work is like when you out on the field, like actually doing something. Like I don't
Right.
think like it's when you sitting on your ass. But hey, that's just my assumption. But
Exactly.
being in kind of a part of the Crama community, like has it been challenging doing that?
Well, for me, not really. Like I have been pretty much able to stay out of drama. Like I've covered some true crime, but mostly, with commentary, I try to cover a lot of things. But it hasn't been hard for me because I really have stayed out of the drama until a couple weeks ago. Like I really am not the type of person to insert myself. I just like to observe and commentate about it. You know what I mean? But with a lot of them, the drama is just it's getting intense. Like it's starting to get worse and worse by the day to me. It's not getting better. People doxing
Oh,
one another, talking
oh,
about people's kids and stuff like that. It's bad. It's really bad.
yeah. That just seems like a YouTube thing for some reason. But I wanted to clarify. I wasn't laughing at you while you were talking. I was laughing at this comment. She said, "Do you think they're gonna solve crime?" AT2, you be shout out to Amber Chick. That was funny. But no, I wanted to also ask about how um the Molly Go Lightly lady, like
Mhm.
I she she's more like infamous than like
Yeah.
famous, you would say, right?
Yeah, you seen her on the wife swap, right? Did you ever see her on there?
Yes, yeah, because I didn't
Okay.
know who she was, and then somebody was all like, "Oh, here's a clip of the I said white wife swap," and I was like,
Mhm.
"Oh, that's who she is." Like I remember seeing that back in the day. I used to be a fan of that
Me
show.
too. Me too. I remember seeing that specific whatever episode with her because she's very unforgettable, Molly Golightly. I don't know if it's in a positive way, but
Yeah, she's infamous.
yes, she is. I agree. I agree.
Yeah,
But
and Wendy, I
she
have to look up this person, Bailey Saren. Do you know who
yes,
that is here?
Bailey Sarian does she's one of my favorites too. She does makeup and true crime. And
Mm.
she just blew up. She's got like I think like 50 million subscribers. She's just amazing to watch. Um
Oh, damn.
she's yes, she's good. That's one of my favorites. Thanks for bringing her up. I love Bailey Sarian.
Okay. That's another good one. I'll have to check that one out too. Um, as far as the Crama community, there because there is one person that I had seen that had made a couple of videos, but I don't know if y'all squashed it. Me and this person have like a love-hate relationship, but Tira Nicole, like, do y'all actually
Um,
have beef or like was it just petty shit?
excuse me. Me and Tara Nicole, it, I wouldn't say that it's beef. I really don't care about her.
Okay.
She was one time, this is like my second live stream, and BX came up on my she was already on my channel and we were discussing the N-word. And I remember
Hmm.
Tara saying, because I used to watch Tara until she openly admitted that she said that word. So I stopped
Hmm.
watching her and we were discussing it. And I'm like, I asked her, I'm like, do you still, say that word? And she didn't like that. And then we started talking about it and how I'm against anybody using that word, but especially white people. And she didn't like that. And then BX came up on my panel and he defended her. And then Molly Golightly came on this is my second live. Let me tell you, AT.
I didn't know this. They all came.
My second live. I was literally like, oh my gosh. And then what happened was I muted BX. He got mad, but he kept laughing at Molly Golightly and I couldn't hear her. I couldn't hear what Molly Golightly was saying, so I muted BX. Then I was just this horrible person for muting BX. And then from there, Teaya and I really haven't liked each other since then, because I just feel like with her, I don't think she says the N-word anymore. I'm not sure, but
she said she doesn't.
Okay, well, if she doesn't, that's great. But it's time to get over the past. I called you out for saying the N-word. It's time to move on. And she just hasn't moved on from that.
Yeah. I want to speak to that too, because I wasn't really around for any of that because she never used it with me. I'll just put that out there. But she did mention something like, where she was from, the black people she was around, they allowed her to say it. That's on them. Because I do know there are black people who are like, oh, well, I don't care because they're not saying it to me.
Right.
I can go either way.
Came up to defend Teaya, but see, your story's different from what I got, because she said that she had never grew up around black people, and she said that word.
Oh.
Yeah. So, I mean, she said she grew up around minorities, but she said that it wasn't black people. So automatically I was just like, okay, either way, even if she did to me grow up around black people, whatever, it would still be wrong to me. But it wasn't me just specifically calling her out. It was just, she was there at the time and I used her as an example. If you don't say it no more, then you shouldn't still be mad about it. That's the only thing that matters. If you don't say it anymore, that's great. But from then on, she hasn't liked me, and that's on her. But BX was up there to defend her, because not every black person feels the way that I do. BX doesn't care if anybody says the N-word. He doesn't care. So that's on him, but he's not the end all be all for black people. Some black people feel differently, just like I do.
Also, BX caters to a certain type of audience, if you know what I mean. And he tries to be like the have the unpopular opinion about everything. It doesn't matter if it's right or wrong. He just wants the unpopular opinion. That's another guy who's trash. But
I don't know him that well, but I hear what you're saying.
Right. But Teaya, what I will say is that I think she does understand the concept of like, yo, that might not be cool for you that might be cool for your friends, but that's not cool around everybody. And just information for anybody using the word. Because I think people are under the assumption that black people also are don't get pushback, especially from the older generation. They don't like us saying that word either, and just people in general don't like it. But if you say the word, then you have to deal with the consequences that come with it. Like, no one can tell you that you have a pass or anything like that. Not everybody feels the same way. I know with me on this show, I'll say ninja a lot, but people know what word I'm saying. But I'll say ninja a lot, to kind of soften the blow and stuff like that. But even then I try not, because I know my channel is very mixed. So I try not to say it on my channel because I don't want people to assume that it's okay. So that's why, I'll use substitutes and stuff.
Right. That's honorable. And with me growing up, like, I agree with what Jay-Z says. I'm like stuck in the middle. I agree with what Jay-Z says. Like, we took that word back and turned it into a term of endearment. We turned it into something positive, that word. But with my mother and like Oprah, people like Oprah feel like we fought hard not to be called that word. So I think I feel both ways. I just don't feel like, in my opinion, just because we say it, I don't feel that it's okay for white people to say it or other races. But it's everybody has mixed feelings about the word. You know what I mean? Everybody does.
Right, right. And I think the thing is that it's very important, because then this is where, we're going to kind of get into your situation later. It's very important, like if certain black people feel a certain way about a situation, I feel like, and this is just my opinion, Tia's not saying this is just my opinion, you shouldn't automatically say like, oh well, you're wrong for feeling that this was racist or this is not right. No, that's your opinion and you're free to have it. I think that a lot of times, like, we'll try to defend our white friend and not realize that we're doing more damage than helping them. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. And like trying to like dispel somebody and all this stuff. Like even with I'll go out on a limb and even say this, even with Real, like I will say that a lot of the stuff that he says, it's over dramatic and I don't believe it. What's up, Cocktails with Lisa? Thank you for coming. It is over dramatic and a lot of the stuff is wrong because definitely he's antagonizing the situations and stuff like that. However, I can't say his feelings are completely wrong because especially with the anti-KJ community, I have seen questionable things. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't say they're racist. I would just say very insensitive, all that other, jargon and all that stuff,
Exactly.
Yeah. But I kind of wanted to talk about you growing up because, it's one thing when you're in like the Crama community, there's not a lot of people of color, unfortunately.
No.
And so, with that being said, you're like the minority within a minority of a sector on YouTube. And so how has that been? Sometimes having these conversations about race because automatically they say, oh, you're always bringing up race, so you're talking about race too much. How has that been for
you? I would say that for the most part, I wouldn't say that it's been negative all the way. Like there are a lot of my supporters that want to learn and they want to, they will openly admit I'm ignorant to these type of things and I want to know, I want to listen, I want to hear what you have to say, so I wouldn't say that it has been necessarily negative, but I would say in the past few weeks it has been negative. And then as I see certain things, I'm starting to realize that there were a lot of people, even when I would try to talk about it, even if it wasn't race, just microaggressive behavior, things like that. Because I'm not afraid to talk about that. I will talk about that until all day, every day if I have to, because that's just me. That's how I was raised. I'm used to being the minority as far as, growing up in the suburbs. I was the only Black girl for a long period of time. So I'm used to that. It's an uncomfortable situation to talk about these things, but I'm starting to see that a lot of people, even when I would express my opinion behind the scenes, they would still be saying, oh, Tia's playing the race card again, blah, 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 blah. And that's obviously dismissive. It's very dismissive. I already know all about that. I've been there, done that. It's going to happen throughout my entire life. I know that. But I say that for the past couple weeks, it has been very negative because a lot of horrible things have happened to where people have put my life in danger, so that's
so sorry about that.
Yeah, I wouldn't say danger, but when you're telling, a platform of 200 people that, oh, she thinks everyone in this chat is racist, that's when you're going too far. That's inciting hate.
Right.
You know what I mean?
They're inciting people to go against you,
Exactly.
You had shared a story on your channel about a time where you were with your friend and they were stealing and then they put some in your purse, but they didn't get looked at. Only your purse was checked.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Can you just take us through that moment and how you felt? Like, was that your first time dealing with like actual like racism and like prejudice?
Oh no. this was when I was a teenager. This was a time when I understood it more.
Right.
Yeah, it was, well, having my mother who went up there and cussed everybody out helped the situation. But at the time, and even when it happened, to be honest, I didn't even understand it until my mother explained it to me. Like, do you know that your friend set you up? Like, my mother had to explain a lot of these things to me, because in a lot of ways I didn't look at it as that. But my mother
Right.
knew, no, it's that. You know what I mean? She knew that you were the one who was going to get in trouble. And that's happened to me before. Like, one time I was at a party and I was the only 21-year-old there and the only Black girl. And he had bottles of liquor all over the place, everywhere. And they were just bottles that he had saved, from years prior. And somebody called the cops, and guess who got in trouble for that?
Oh.
So I've been through a lot.
Damn.
And thank God I had, my parents were very, I would say they were good as far as money, so they could get me the best attorney and stuff like that. And the cop was just
right. They could fight for you because a lot of people don't have the resources to fight.
Exactly. So they had those resources, but at the end of the day, why was it only me? I think it was me and one other 21-year-old there, but I'm the one who had to take the fall for that. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, all of this alcohol here, you think I bought all this? And I'm like, yeah, I'm sure you did. I'm like, oh my Lord. Like,
right. So there was another 21-year-old there, but you were the fall guy.
Yes. Yeah.
It's funny because one of the moments that I could remember was as young as like I was under 10. I remember, and this was in the Bay Area in California. This wasn't even in the Valley. We were all hanging out and we went over to a friend's house, not in the house, but like in the front yard. And we were going to play video games or whatever. And then they were all like, oh, AT2 can't come. And I was kind of like, why? Everybody was like, why? And they were like, oh, because my parents don't like Black people. And they were like, oh, but Darrell is Black. It was I don't remember his name was Darrell, but it was a D name, right? And so he was all like, oh, but no, he's different. That's why he's allowed to come, but AT2 can't come. And I didn't understand that because I was like, wait, it's another Black dude. How come he's invited? But there's so many different dynamics when it comes to the microaggressions, racism, prejudice. Like, you're a good, that's when and then later on in life, I learned that, oh, you're a good one. You're not like the rest of them. Like, they're this. And, like, you never really understand these things. And like, another thing too, like, our parents are Black, but they never like they tell us about racism and stuff like that, but they never have like a long extended conversation. Like, it's more like when things happen situational that they have to explain it to us. You know what I mean?
Yep. Like,
oh, go ahead.
Well, I
was going to say, thank God, in 2020, I hate that, it took a man losing his life for people to have these conversations, but at least they were happening in a way, Thank you, Maria. I appreciate that. And thank you, Wendy. I seen your comment too. But go ahead, Tia.
Yeah, I agree with you with the different examples. Like, I used to go to a Catholic school when I was younger, and I will honestly say this was when I was maybe 7 or 8 years old, and this is the first time ever. And remembering that all the way back to 7 years old, that's obviously a traumatic moment. But I remember I was taking one of those, like, those big tests where you circle the bubbles or whatever. And I had messed up and put my name in the wrong spot. And the nun got so mad at me. And she's like, Black people, you guys mess up everything. And I'll never forget it. And I remember going home and I knew something was wrong with it, but I'm like, I don't know. So I told my mother, and moms, like my mom was like, shroom, she flew up to that school and was yelling at everybody.
Oh my God.
But that's the very first time that I ever remember such blatant, racism. You know what I mean?
Right,
And
right.
I think the most important thing what people have to understand is if more people would just start listening instead of being so dismissive, maybe we
Hmm.
could actually get somewhere with it. I know it's never going to happen because there's so many people who believe that racism doesn't exist. And that's why I
Right.
talk about it a lot.
Right. And and I appreciate somebody like you putting it out there on the forefront and throwing it in the people's face. And I don't mean throwing it in their face like a bad thing, but forcing them to have these conversations because um you have people that do videos about you, Tia, that when they talk about you, they use like a ghetto or a black
Yeah.
accent when they talk about you. That was very disturbing to me. That made me
Yeah.
want to flip over that recliner and flip it on top of her just because like I was all like, yo, are people not seeing that microaggression that she just did?
Right.
But because they're
Right.
so ignorant, they don't want to see it. And I
Right.
am talking about Natasha Cooper.
Mhm.
She was all like, yeah, that girl, yeah, and let me tell her, I couldn't see her face, but I know she had a finger in a neck roll when she was
Oh,
doing
I
it, you
bet.
know. Um,
Yes.
how did you link up with her? Because like she had actually lost her channels.
Uh-huh.
Was it like you felt bad for her, or how'd
Well,
y'all
I
link?
knew when I first came into this community, I met Natasha, and this was about a year ago. I met her because there was somebody that I was cool with that was a creator. Her and that girl weren't getting along. And Natasha,
Mm,
this girl was on my panel talking about Natasha. Then Natasha came over to my panel, and that's how I met her. And she was very, very, she's done some, let's just say I didn't like the way she was treating somebody else that I was becoming friends with.
mm-hmm.
She was very, I don't know, lots of videos made about this girl that she didn't like. So she didn't like somebody I was cool with. I didn't like somebody she was cool with. So we chose to part ways. And that was a long time ago.
Right.
Recently, I would say about 2 months ago, I reached out to her because she ended up being right about something she warned me about. So I said, thank you for warning me. And we started talking again. And I
Mm-hmm.
noticed that every time I would go on her live, she would ask me to come up on her panel. And at this time, this is when people were bringing up her racist past. Okay.
Mm,
So she would always say, oh, Tia, come up on panel, come up on panel. And I would come up on panel and I found myself defending her, like, okay, she has a racist past, but this was years ago. And then it just got to a point where a few weeks ago she said, if you go in this person's chat, because I was showing support to this woman that wasn't even talking about her, she was talking about something completely different, and I agreed with her. So I said, I left a comment and I said, I support you. Well, she did
right.
a live, she brought that comment up and said, if you go into people's chat that I don't like, don't come back over here, don't come back over here. So I made sure that it was very clear. I go where I want, when I want, anytime I want. Nobody's going to tell me. First of all, that's not practical as a creator, and it's also not healthy. You're not going to you can't go anywhere without people not liking that woman. You know what I mean?
Right, right. As I understand, it's hard to go somewhere where people don't like her, you know what I mean?
Exactly. So I just said, and from there, she didn't like that. All the help that I gave her, she would, anybody's panel that I would be on, she would be in the comments section. She would come up on panel and thank everyone that helped her, all of the white creators that helped her, but she never thanked me. And then she would even say, you didn't do nothing for me. Look on my channel. You know how many times
Yeah,
she's been on
you did
my
like
channel?
long streams with her and basically she took over the whole channel.
Right. Right. And
Yeah, and do you feel like you were being used? Because Siren said Natasha
yeah,
would never have Tia on panel unless Natasha wanted some sort of defense against accusations of racism. Have you ever been on Natasha's channel?
on her panel, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
And then, like, did you actually feel like she actually wanted to develop a friendship with you, or do you think that you were used as the token?
I was used. If you
Okay.
want a friendship with somebody, AT2, you're going to try to get to know them, right? You're going to ask them questions about themselves. You're going to talk to that person. Um, she's never asked me any questions about myself. She doesn't even know me. Like, I know
Hmm.
her because she's very public on her public platform, you know.
Right.
She's very, very public with her life. So I know her, but she don't know me. She doesn't know anything about me because she's never asked me about myself. The only time she ever messaged me is when she was talking about other people talking about her. You know, she never, no, I definitely, and there was two other Black women, I'm not going to say their names, that
Hmm.
defended her also. And even towards the end, when I ended our friendship, she's trying to pit us against each other. These, her
Mm.
other two Black creators, like not creators,
Her
her
other two
subscribers.
tokens.
So,
Mm.
and we defended her hard. And I don't know if they seen her two Black supporters, if they seen what she did. But what I will say is that they're smart women, and
Hmm.
she's trying to say that I'm trying to turn them against her. No, I'm not. I'm not trying to turn anybody against her. I'm just trying to say the truth. You may think somebody's a certain way, but then once you get treated some way, then you're like, okay, you look to their past. I
Right.
look at her past and I feel like she was treating me like I was like a second class citizen. That's how she was treating me.
Right.
And
Did you for a moment think that she actually seen you as an equal?
no, she don't. She really don't see anybody as an equal. If you've ever
Mm.
listened to her AT2, she talks
I've
about
listened
how,
to little clips. Yeah,
yeah,
it's
she
disturbing.
talks about how nobody's gonna be as good as her. Nobody's ever going to amount to anything as a creator. But as far as me, no, I don't. I think that she looks down on everybody, to be honest with you, but especially Black people, in my opinion.
Right, right, right. And it just seemed like she had so much anger. And somebody mentioned like you were the only one that let her up on your channel, really. Like she wasn't really allowed to go up because I think people were nervous that they would get terminated if they let her up.
Hmm. Well, she was on my panel a lot, like 3 or 4 times, and then I think she was on another two other creators um, panel as well. But
Hmm.
I helped her. I tried to give her a platform just as much as anybody else. And for her to throw me under the bus like that, she showed me who she was. And then because I don't, when people make fun of my looks and things like that, I don't resort to that AT2. Like,
Yeah, she made fun of
sometimes
your
you,
lashes.
yes,
Like,
sometimes you are what you respond to. It would be easy for me to make fun of her. I'm not going to do that. Like, that's not me. Oh
yeah,
yes, I was
Xylee
the
said
first.
Tia was the first one when her
Yeah.
two channels went down.
Listen to Xylee because she knows everything. She does.
Yeah,
I
shout out to
love her.
Xylee.
Yeah, she's always on point with everything. But yeah, I'm not going to go and make a video about her cracking on her and stuff like that. That's not me. But
Right.
what sealed it for me is the way she was talking when she was talking about me. How she was talking ghetto like that. You showed me
Hmm.
who you are. So there's nothing else to say anymore. My point, and then to me, there's another creator
Mm.
that this was probably like a week ago. She went live, and this is Natasha's friend, and she's also a creator. She went live saying that I called her a racist and everybody in the chat a racist. And they all just had a talk about how I'm throwing up the race card. But I never said that. That was a lie. She
Right.
straight up lied. And she said that people told her that. Okay, people may have told you that, but you didn't have to run with it. All you had to do was go watch my live. But I feel like that was maliciously done to make me look like I'm just this angry Black woman who's calling everybody racist.
Right.
Everybody,
And you
you
never
know?
called her a racist. You said there were some questionable things that she did
Yes,
done, and now you see how people interpret her.
right, right.
Yeah.
So,
So she totally turned it around, made it against you, and made you the bad guy. And it was all like, yo, all you did was try to help her.
mhm. I did. I try to be supportive because I know how it would be like if your channels was to get shut down, which that would never happen. But if it was, if you wanted to come on my channel and talk about cancel culture and talk to your subscribers, I would be more than happy to do that. That's just me. I would want that same treatment to me as well. Like if my channels were shut down.
Right. Now, I wanted to ask how, you know, because I remember watching Xylee video about the Natasha lady, but I had heard about her because Robbie had mentioned, and I think they had their own falling out and stuff like that. But you know, just looking at her history, because when you look up her name, there's like these YouTube shorts, you know, they're kind of like the TikTok version. Oh, thank you, Debbie, for the $3. I appreciate that. But they're like the YouTube version of like TikTok and stuff like that. And there's one where she's calling her niece, I guess, who's biracial, a niglet. And she said, oh no, I just say that out of frustration. And it's all like, I don't know what's up with these white people calling their children the N-word, because I don't even call my nieces and nephews that.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if you change from your past, they're clip channels. That's it, Xylee. If you change from your past, I just sit back and observe, and I watch how you treat people. And to me, she hasn't changed, because if you watch that video, and there's another one too that I never seen that I watched, she is treating like a second-class citizen, in my opinion.
Yes, and I've seen that one.
I know it was a long time ago. Well, 3 years ago ain't that long ago. Let's just be real here. But it is very, you know, I hope and pray that that's not something that she's doing now. You know, she says that she's not, but looking at her past explains why she treated me the way she did, in my opinion.
Yeah. I just pray for that little girl, because I don't even think Natasha understands, like, and let me be careful and say allegedly, I don't think she understands, you know, the damage that she probably has done to that little girl. And, you know, to do it on camera and to do it live where it's recorded and people are seeing this is something that little girl is going to live with forever. So, you know, just remember that. And then also, how dare, I didn't even mention this, but how dare she talk about your looks when she looked the way she looked? Now, I ain't going to go in, but how dare don't you ever just want to get dirty and grimy with these people when they say certain shit like that?
I do. It's just that, just like when me and like my boyfriend would sit there and watch her, he always knew that she was racist. He would always say, I like her. I like watching her. She's funny. He's like, but I'm telling you right now, that woman's a racist. That's just
you could smell it.
But I do, but I feel like that's just, I don't need to do that. Like, there's just so much other things about her to discuss besides her looks. That's easy for me to talk about her looks. I can do that, you know. That's apparent, but to talk about, she can talk about my looks all day, because I already know what she was saying a month ago. She wasn't saying that a month ago. You know, a month ago, she's asking me how to put on apply lashes. So it's just, it's not worth it to me. I did. I defended her. I tried to defend her, you know?
Yeah. Now, do you regret defending her? Because, like, you know, you was capping for her for a minute, and it was kind of like, are you sure? Like, do you regret it? Or, you know, you would say it's a learning lesson?
I would say it was a learning lesson for me, because I needed to see that for myself. I don't think I ever would have known and seen her the way other people see her until I experienced it myself. I had to experience that to know truly what this woman is about. And it's not just about her, you know, being racist or anything like that. It's overall, in general, yes, I do believe she has those tendencies, but also she's just not a nice woman, period. You know, there's a lot of people that she has did wrong, and it's always other people. Well, I experienced firsthand that it's not other people, because I didn't do anything to her.
Mm-hmm.
All I said was, you're not going to tell me where to go. That's all I said.
Right. And she's not paying you either. You gotta pay people if you want them to do what they want you to do. But
exactly.
I wanted to know, why do people hate her? Like, what is the exact reason? I know why I wouldn't say hate. I necessarily would not be interested in watching her, is because, you know, the niglet stuff and all that. But like, why do people not like her? Do you know the exact reason?
I mean, I know like stories, like I know now, like Tia's the only one in that sector with any damn comment. Oh, thank you, Xylee.
Thank you, Xylee. I went ahead and dropped the link if anybody has any questions for her as well too. Hey, Jenny, go ahead.
She's such a beautiful woman. She's hurt a lot of people, AT2. If I were you, I would definitely look into interviewing some people. She has hurt a lot of people, including, I don't want to say I was hurt, more disappointed. But just the way she talks about people, and then you see those people in the comment sections just bashing right along with her and saying the most horrible things about people's looks, and it's just bad. It's just really, really bad. It's really bad when you have.
She calls somebody a stupid effing bitch. I've seen that before too. Like, I was like, whoa.
And I
cussed out a few people, but it was warranted. Like, I just wasn't flying off the handle. Like, whoa.
And I'm not saying that people don't attack her. There are channels out there that attack her, but a majority of those channels are because they've either watched how she's hurt people or it's been done to them personally. And Siren would know this the most because she has done him so badly, AT2. It's just crazy. It's crazy.
I gotta get an interview with him. Siren, hit me up in the DM. Oh, we got Xylee here. What's up, Xylee?
What's up? Hi, Tia. Tia and one other person are the only two people out of that whole sector, out of my whatever districts, that I have stayed sub to, because everybody else has lost their damn mind. That whole sector is crazy. Tia, leave. You are better than those people. Walk out, run for your life.
Oh God.
I'm trying to venture off and be in different places like you, Xylee. You are, I don't know if you know this, but you are very much an inspiration to me as well.
Oh,
because I
don't say that because I'm an asshole. Tia, no, don't be like me.
No, you're not. Like, I've watched you sit there, you commentated, and then you said, okay, the hell with this community. I'm about to go somewhere else.
Yeah. Because they literally burnt me out. They literally burnt. That's why I haven't continued. I mean, I'm going to continue the series, but I might take a couple month break because that whole sector, that whole section, they burnt me out.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot to watch too, because they stream for so long.
But it gets,
they do.
Dude, the amount of hours I spent on 2 times speed just on Natasha Cooper alone.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I would like to know your opinion about her, Xylee, if you don't mind.
I hate to say this, but I showed on my channel a grift, a scam that she did in real time. Okay. I'm to the point now, I don't even want to hear about scams with Natasha Cooper anymore, because quite honestly, you can show these people exactly what she did and they'll still give them their money. Give her their money. There's no point in saying nothing anymore. At this point, they know.
Yep.
Right. She has developed like kind of like a cult following. Like there's people that really rock with her. Like,
until they get burnt, and then they turn into a nasty awareness channel, which people they aren't aware they're just as bad as Natasha Cooper. But the so they're really loyal to Natasha, and then they become antis because she burns them just like she burns everybody else.
Right.
Right. Do you think that she has like a way with her words? Like, what is it that attract people to this woman?
Honestly, Natasha Cooper is actually entertaining. I hate to say this, but she has now granted, watching a playback on her is hard because she takes these long pauses between when she speaks, but watching a live stream, like while you're doing something, you know, like I'm playing a video game or I'm researching other stuff, she's actually entertaining. Even when she's talking crap, she has a like a personality that just like, she's
very charismatic.
Yes.
She is, her facial expressions are very funny. I'm not gonna lie, she's very funny and entertaining to watch, but in that same sense, it's at the expense of others.
Yes.
Right. You know, other people, like, had I started making fun of her and bashing her, because I could have her crying for 2 weeks if I wanted to. But I'm not going to do that. And then what's going to happen? She's going to turn that into commentary. We're going to be going back and forth. And then
honestly, Teaya, if you did that, she would just make more money.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Eventually, I would be so harsh that she would have turned it into sad fishing, if that makes sense. And then,
right.
You know, I've observed and I've watched and I see how she works and how I've always looked at it like this. These people are adults. These aren't children giving her money. So if they're going to give her money, you guys can't stop. This is what people want. They want it to stop with the money, but it's not going to. As long as they're giving it to her, they're just,
and they're always going to feel sorry for her because the antis are never going to stop talking about her. They're never going to stop talking about her. So basically it's like two magnets. And you know how you like, if they're both positive, they won't stick together. Okay. That's the antis and that's Natasha Cooper. They're always trying to push, but they don't. And you have the people in the middle taking one side or the other. Let me tell you something. The people who are on Natasha's side, the people who watch the antis are just as bad. They're just as bad. Both sides are just as bad. I'm sorry. You know, and I understand there's people in the chat now that watch the antis, and that's fine. Watch whoever you want. I'm not going to tell you who to watch, not to watch. But those anti channels are just as bad. Maybe not as bad as like sad fishing for money. And she does a little too much there. But as far as like what comes out of their mouth and the nastiness, they're just as bad as she is. And they will watch. I've had them lie straight in my chat, and my chat's going, no, that's not what was just said there. No,
right, because you keep it real. You're not about to bow down to any of them. So
and then what about isms? What about isms? This is the number one thing over there on that channel. What about Natasha? She did this. Or what about Granny's watching? She did this. Or what about? How about everybody shut the hell up and act like adults? How about that?
Right. Because I understand, like, she has done some horrible things, but then people have done horrible things to her as well, too, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like,
and I know Xylee kind of talked about it on her channel. I don't want to get all into it, but, you know, there was, like, some leaked journals or something to the effect of that.
That was bad. And to go that far, that's when you're going too far. That's when you cross the line right there.
I agree.
And the anti people are like, well, Natasha's the one who put it out there. I don't care if she did. She shared it in, I think, a group chat with some friends. That doesn't justify what happened and what this person did. And he did apologize for it, if I'm correct.
He did. He did it right after my live stream about it.
Oh, okay. I remember seeing your live stream.
Yep, he did it right after, because he actually went to my live stream saying, okay, I get it. I'm going to apologize. And he ended up apologizing.
That's good. See, Xylee be making change and she don't even know it. But we got a $20 super chat. And Teaya, the question is for you. She said, Stephanie says, I have a question for Teaya. How do you ensure your coverage doesn't sensationalize the events and respect those affected? I think those are the two biggest problems with the true crime genre. I definitely get that, because like sometimes it seems like it's more, and I'll throw it out there, this is me saying it, the model likely lady, most of the attention seems like for her and not for the people that she's trying, or the case that she's speaking about. It seems like more for her, like performative. It doesn't seem natural.
Right. And that is a hard question in a lot of ways, because that's a hard thing to do, to make it to where it's not because even with true crime, I don't cover true crime that much. Like I cover it, but I talk more about problematic creators than anything. Or I'll talk about, you know, different microaggressions, racial microaggressions, things like that, just bringing awareness. So to me, I don't know that there's any true crime channel that doesn't am I wrong?
Sensationalize, yeah.
Yeah, sensationalize. I don't know if there's any true crime channel that doesn't do that. Except for like CDT. It just seems like a lot of these true crime channels, they just lose themselves somehow in a way. Like
I always say the Crama
what you gotta say?
I say the Crama channels always commit more crimes than they actually solve.
Right,
I'm sorry.
right.
It's the truth though. Between the doxing and the scamming and going real life and revenge porn and calling CPS and calling the cops and stuff, they commit more crimes than they solve.
Right. I definitely, like I said, I don't think they solved any crimes from sitting their ass in the chair. Like, you know, I think you got to be out there really like doing the work. But, you know, even then, like, it's best to leave it to the police because putting misinformation out there does hurt the case. You know, I had been following this, well, I'm still am, but it hasn't gone to court yet. The situation with the two missing boys, Orrin and Orson West. And there was a lot, I had to take a step back because there were just so many people talking about it, but putting misinformation out there and putting their personal opinion. And it's all like, you can't do that. Like at the end of the day, like, you know, a family is missing two little boys. And it was just disgusting, just the things that I seen. And like, and for me personally, covering people that are deceased or no longer living, it's very tough for me to cover that. It is. Like, I just can't
I'm not going to do 84
that.
live streams on it. I know that much.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
I'm not going to do 84 live streams. Was it 24 in 1 week? I'm not doing that like Natasha Cooper did.
Because what update do you have like within the matter of like an hour? Like there shouldn't be any more updates. It should be like, you know, there's developments, but like why are you going live 24 times in one day about the same case? Like what other information is there?
She was just streaming the news, dude. Half the time she wasn't talking. Because I got somebody working on a video of her and they were covering the true crime channel. And most of the time she wasn't talking. She was just sitting there streaming the news. That's all she was doing.
That's what I heard. I didn't watch
84. We counted 84. 84 live streams on that one girl. That's how she got the 29K on that channel. She did 84 damn live streams. There was almost 30 in 1 week.
Like that's just too much. That's too much. I'm sorry. I just feel like it's all sensationalized in my opinion. A lot, especially like with people like Molly Golightly and I feel like that's, I don't want to say a given with these channels. I don't even know how to explain it. Like these channels to me are not in it for the right reasons. That's what I'll say. They're not. No, I don't come to YouTube. If you come to YouTube just specifically for subscribers and to make money, you're in it for the wrong reasons. Because when you first start off on YouTube, you don't hardly make money. There is no money. There is no money. And I don't understand why people think that there is. There's not. You know, you have to really be passionate about this in order to succeed, in my opinion.
Like, and Stephanie made a good point. She said, I think we need to think about how we perhaps consuming the worst thing that ever happened to someone as entertainment. It's a hard thing to grapple with, right?
I agree, Stephanie. You're right.
All right, I'm going to say this one last thing, then I'm going to step down.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Here is, no, it's okay, baby. No, I'm just going to say this one last thing. Here's the problem, and the reason why I got burnt out, all right? I had 1,000,001 people email me, all right? God, it made me wish I didn't put my email on my channel. I'm just saying. And they're emailing me, and I literally got an email from somebody saying, yeah, they doxed my real name, and I can't believe Natasha doxed my name. At the same time, The email they sent me was their first and middle and last name. And I'm like, well, first of all, you need to, if you're gonna email creators, please don't use your full name, because that's how y'all get doxxed over there. So basically my point is this, and it goes for the anti-KJs too. I wish they would have kept it on Reddit and Facebook and not brought it to YouTube.
Oh.
Because that's where all this started from, especially in that sector of the Crama community. It started on Facebook. I wish it would have stayed on Facebook. Because they come over here and they dox people. They'll look into criminal reports. They'll pay for criminal reports on people. They will call CPS on people. They will do the nasty of the nasty. That wouldn't fly in my community.
Right.
That wouldn't fly. But it's normal over there. I wish they would have stayed on Facebook. Just saying. Period, point blank, period. They should have stayed on Facebook. All right, I'm out.
Right.
I'll be in the chat.
For coming. I appreciate
Bye,
you.
babies.
Bye,
Love you, Xylee. Man. So Teaya, last few questions for you. As far as your channel, where do you see it going in the near future? Because, you know, I know drama isn't really your thing. Like I said, there's not like too many videos on you, like being in drama and stuff like that. Like, what's the future of your channel, you would say?
I would say it's definitely going to be sticking to commentary and makeup. I like those two things combined, and I will be talking more about true crime cases when I do cover true crime, about the ones that people don't talk about, like missing Indigenous women, you know, African Americans. You know, we are barely ever covered African American women, trans Black women, those types of things, and that's what I want to cover more.
You know what? I just realized, because it was a lot of there was a sector that was covering the Orson and Oren case, but a lot of like the missing Black people, like no one really covers those.
No,
like no one. Like I would do shows on it, and it was kind of like, why aren't there like hella videos about this? Like, I'm not a true crime channel. Like, why aren't they talking about this? But they only care about the ones that are in the media, like the big ones that are going to get them the clicks. And shit, they sensationalize it. Boom.
Yep. And that's not what I care about. I care about covering things that mean the most to me. And I think when the whole Gabby Petito case happened, may God rest her soul, but it kind of showed us how, you know, a white woman with blonde hair is so heavily covered and so widely, but then you have somebody like Jelani Day, who I covered, where nobody hardly ever talked about this young man at all, you know, and he was a college student in medical school, all of those things. So that's what I want to cover more of, those kind of cases. And when I do cover cases, but I still will talk about problematic creators, because that's what I love doing. I love talking about creators that do horrible things and calling them out and holding them accountable, you know, that kind of stuff.
Right. As you should. You have every right to. Now, I know you have posted a short not too long ago of, I believe, your husband and your son. Like, they want to be content creators now?
They did pretty good on that, though.
I thought it was funny. It was funny.
He likes, they like TikTok. They like
That's
TikTok.
good. That's the perfect route.
I think so too. It's so easy to upload on TikTok. Yeah, they are pretty good with TikTok. I know that I would like to do, this will be on another channel, like family vlogging. He wants to do family vlogging. A little scared with that because of, you know, how people are on YouTube when you put your family out there, you know. But yeah, I think that he does want to be a creator as far as family vlogging is concerned. He does.
That's awesome. I would love to see like your family dynamic and stuff like that. I think I would be interested in that. Definitely.
I want to tell you, you are a good interviewer. You need to start doing more of these. Why did you stop?
Thank you. You know, it's crazy because like I was doing these and then I stopped, and I'm gonna start bringing them back. I would actually. It's funny that Xylee came up because I want to bring Xylee back to the show. I just wanted to say, like, I love Xylee. It's so crazy because, like, I remember I would have her on my show before she even became like monetized and got 1,000 subscribers. And now look at her now. Like, it was like a mutual respect for each other, and it wasn't like this clout thing that everybody likes to do. It was an actual respect for each other, and I'm just so proud of her. But it is natural for me because, like, I like to have deep, meaningful conversations with people. And, like, when I seen what you were going through, and I was like, I've always been interested in, like, her life and, you know, stuff like that. So let me go ahead and reach out. And so that's why I definitely wanted to reach out to you as well, Teaya.
And I would like to interview you next to see how you've been able to stay so consistent and how, like, you have quality content, your intros and all that kind of stuff. I would really like to interview on that. And also, I just think that you're going very far on this platform. It obviously I will say it's a lot, which nobody will believe me on this either. It's harder for Black creators here on YouTube.
Yes.
That's why I've always heavily supported people like you, Jackie Ayana, my favorite. She's my favorite YouTuber ever, Alyssa Ashley. But all I'm saying is that I do see you going far. Stay above all of this bull crap, petty shit. Sorry. You're
right. No,
it
is what it is. It's petty shit. You're right.
It is. You're better than that.
What
and one more thing. Go ahead.
What I appreciate is that I've been through a lot, and I've been able to change the direction of my channel where before it was very drama centered and like talking about, like the different drama going on. And like, I realized that, I don't have to do this anymore if I don't want to. I can do actual content and people will still watch my channel. And so I had to, lose some subscribers, lose some views, but I wouldn't want it any other way. And I'm happy that, I did it my own way. And whether people say, I did it by hook or crook, got my subscribers or my views. Hey, it is what it is, but I did it my way.
Exactly. And that's how you need to do it. And one last thing I want to say to any creator in general, but especially Black creators, please be careful with who you come into defense for. Be careful who you go hard for, because you just never know how that person really is. You have to know somebody on a personal level to know, especially if they have a racist past. You would have to know them on a personal level to even know that they've changed. So therefore, if you don't know them personally, do not defend them. Do not go hard for them. They can defend themselves. You don't need to defend anybody, especially when it comes to that kind of thing, because if you're used in that such a way, it's a horrible feeling. So just be careful with who you choose to defend. That's all.
Right. I totally agree with that. You are right about that. And we were talking about that too. I think it's great that, at the end of the day, even though this was probably something that was like, damn, I hate that this happened. Yeah, right, B, no windmilling.
Right.
I hate that this happened, but it was definitely a learning experience, and it was something that needed to happen in order for you to make changes in the future,
Absolutely. You are such a good interview. You better keep up with this. I'm telling you, I love the way that you interview, your etiquette, just everything. The right questions, you stay on the right track. You ask things in order. So you did amazing.
Thank you. Teaya, before we end, go ahead and shout out your channel.
Teaya Symone, makeup and commentary. And I try to go live when I can. That's all I
think you have a live coming up in like 15 minutes, right? Or did you change it?
I just pushed it back a little bit, but yes, I will be live tonight.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. I appreciate you. And make sure you guys go subscribe.
Thank you.
I'll be in the chat.
Bye-bye.
All right, have a good one. Oh man, thank you, Teaya, so much for coming on. Hopefully you guys got to meet my new friend. She is awesome, and I just can't wait to see where her channel goes in the future. But thank you all so much for hanging out with your boy AT2. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to me, also my friend Teaya, and also my sponsors too, Brandee and Laugh, Gags, and Gossip. I went ahead and put the links in the description, so click that description and subscribe to everybody. You ain't got to subscribe just to one person. You can subscribe to every damn body, right? And I want to say thank you everybody for the super chats as well too. You don't have to donate, but I definitely do appreciate, because you know I ain't got no job. This is my job. And I didn't see any Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal, but if you did, I definitely like those, because you know you get that money right up front. But anyway, y'all, hopefully y'all enjoyed the show. Any questions that y'all had that we didn't answer, please go ahead and ask them in the comment section down below, and then I'll definitely get into them later. But thank y'all. We out of here. Deuces.